sound assembly. Good afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time you may be seated. But I do like the response of all our veterans here because the bugle call you just heard was assembly. That marks the beginning of a formation, or in our case today, a celebration. Repeating the practice that we introduced a few years ago, we are taking group photos at this time of all our veterans and present members of the armed forces. Now, for our first photo, we would ask that all veterans who are present, if you at this time could make your way into the center hall with the shorter fellows and girls on the front and the taller ones on the back. All right, now all of our greatest generation, JJ, just take a seat there. If you are a World War II veteran, we would like to honor you with a photograph today. If you are at a table and can't move to this point, raise your hand at this time so we can recognize you and get you in there. All right, we have two, Nikki. Wonderful. Hey, let's give a hand to our greatest generation. All right, thank you. Next, would all the veterans from the Korean War make it to the middle? 1950 to 1953. I heard General Jackson out there saying, hey, that's us. But all our veterans of the Vietnam War, 1961 to 1975. It's your turn to bat, and we invite you to center stage for a photo. Next, with all our veterans of the Cold War, that would be also post-Vietnam, the Desert Storm. If you served between 1975 and 1990, we would invite you to center stage. What a beautiful handsome lot we got here. All right. Thank you. Next, we're looking for Desert Storm veterans. Desert Storm 9/11 through 2001. If you served between 1990 and 2001, it's your turn to bat. We want to honor you with a photo. All right. Now, if you're in the global war on terrorism in Iraq from 2001 to 2021, we would invite you to come forward. All right. I don't know about y'all, but I'm proud of these folks. All right, next, global war on terrorism, in particular Afghanistan. If you served in the environs of Afghanistan in that area, please come forward for your photograph at this time. All right. Now, not to be outdone, there are other campaigns, Grenada, Panama, all over the world that veterans serve in. So if you are a veteran of the global war on terrorism and you serve in any other area that I don't mention already, we invite you to come to center stage. All right, and next to last, with all members of the American Legion, the American Legion Auxiliary and the Sons of the American Legion, please come forward for group photo. All right, we've got one more photograph. It's an exclusive group, a group that's been working hard since August of this year, without whom I would not be standing here right now, and I would like to invite all members of the Hometown Heroes Planning Committee to come forward for their 2024. If you're on the committee, we'd like you to get your photograph recorded. We're adding something new this year. We would like to recognize all women veterans. If you would come out to center stage, we want to recognize you today as special to us. Thank you, veterans. Hey, let's get a thunderous applause for all of our veterans when we recognize today. Now, I do want to recognize Nikki's photography. Nikki's done a wonderful job today. Thank you from the photo committee. fluid and very good and memorable. And so, at this time, if you would please give your attention to our podium as we enter into the actual activities of our program today. So, Colonel, if you'll come.
Bugle, sound, excellent call. The bugle call you just heard was excellent call. And that's typically an officer who talks a lot, and it's surprising though you may find it. I served as an accident many times during my 2 years in the active army and my 30-year career in the Florida National Guard. Since 1954, it has been celebrated as Veterans Day, a day to recognize everyone who has served in the American Armed Forces in war and peace, those patriots whom we honor today. We added bugle calls for our ceremony a few years ago, further emphasizing the recognition of veterans of American Armed Forces. Today's event recognizes not only our veterans, but the flag under which they fought and the nation they served. The Defense Authorization Act of 2009 authorized the rendering of a hand salute by members of veterans of the armed forces, whether or not in uniform. It is in that spirit that I invite all veterans present to join in this tradition of patriotism and respect at appropriate times in our program. Would all members of the audience please stand for the presentation of the flag. It is a privilege to call on Cadet First Lieutenant Maddie Skinner to sing the national anthem accompanied by Ken Kessler. Maddie?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the were so gallant to be streamed, and the rockets ran away, the bombs bursting in air. Yet through the night,
Please stand and remain for the invocation by our Coast Guard ACS chaplain, Reverend Barry Gray. Let us pray. We praise you and give you thanks, great God of compassion, grace, and mercy, justice, truth, and liberty. We praise dignity and strength to all who offer themselves in service to others. On this Veterans Day, we pray that you will watch over the veterans of the United States of America as we honor them for their loyal service to our nation. Bless them with wholeness and a deep sense of satisfaction for having honorably served us all. Lovingly shelter them under your protective wings. Heal all their wounds, seen and unseen. Comfort their hearts and grant them peace from the evils they have seen and the burdens they have borne. Grant them courage and wisdom to live each day of their lives under your gracious care. We ask you to bless these men and women of honor and valor with a deep and abiding understanding of our profound gratitude that they have earned through their blood, their sweat, and their tears. Protect them and their families from loneliness and want. Grant them lives of joy and peace and a bountiful supply for all their needs. May their dedication and honor be remembered as a blessing to all who have benefited from their selfless service from generation to generation, bringing glory to your name until the day that you bring that promised peace, when the kingdoms of this world will become the kingdoms of our God and of our King. And we will live with you forever in perfect peace and unending joy. Blessed are you, O Lord our God, our protector and redeemer, our shield and our strength forever. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Please remain standing for the time to close.
Retire the come. Lord, hearts.
Thank you. Please be seated.
Thank you, Summerlin Academy and the Color Guard. I'm Lloyd Harris. I'm the chairman of this event today, along with Colonel Christie and our Hometown Heroes Committee. I would like to introduce the guests at our head table. Please stand if your name is called at our table. I would ask that you please withhold any applause until all the introductions are complete. To my right, and the co-chairman of this event, Colonel S.L. Frisbee. And we'd like to recognize Christopher O'Beaver, a first-class groupie. Commander Wally Edwards, Commander, American Legion Post 3. And to his immediate right is the chaplain of Post 3, John Sheffield, also the Sons of the American Legion. To my left is Coast Guard ACS chaplain, Reverend Barry Gray. Thank you. He's also my pastor at First Presbyterian Church. If you don't go to church anywhere, Sunday morning, be with us. Thank you, Mayor. I'll give him a check. And now, I'd like to introduce the Mayor of Bartow, the Honorable Trish Pfeiffer. Thank you, Trish, for all your support. To her immediate left is JROTC Senior Army Instructor, Major Tally Hillsgrove. I'd also like to recognize Major Hillsgrove. This is his first year serving with our committee, and also for his allowing all the Summerlin Academy cadets to participate in our program today. Thank you, Major. And hey, let's give the committee a hand. Thank you. Now, perhaps you notice two distinct tables on each end of the head table here. One is a familiar sight sight at events like this. It commemorates soldiers and sailors, airmen, and Marines, members of the armed forces who happen to fall into the effect of the category being a prisoner of war or is still missing in action. The table to my left commemorates those members of the armed forces who have received the Purple Heart for wounds or death suffered in combat. So, today, John Sheffield, chaplain of Sons of the American Legion Post 3, is going to share with us and explain the symbolism of the vacant chair and the MIA POW table. John?
Thank you, sir.
John, there's a microphone over there.
And thank you for allowing us to be here today and participate. Those who have served and those currently serving in the armed forces are ever mindful that the sweetness of enduring peace has always been tainted by the bitterness of personal sacrifice. We are compelled to never forget that while we enjoy our daily pleasures, there are those who have endured and may still be enduring agonies of pain, deprivation, and internment. We call your attention to this small table, which occupies a place of dignity and honor near the head table. It is set for one, symbolizing the fact that members of our corps are missing from our ranks. We refer to them as prisoners of war and missing in action, but with brothers and sisters called in comrades. We are unable to be here with their loved ones and families today, so let's take a moment to pay homage to them and bear witness to the continued absence. This table set for one is small, symbolizing the frailty of one prisoner alone against their captors. The tablecloth is white, symbolic of the purity of their intentions to respond to their nation's call to bear arms. The single rose in the vase signifies the blood that they have shed in sacrifice to ensure the freedom of our beloved United States of America. The rose also reminds us of the family and friends of our missing comrades who keep the faith while awaiting their return. The ribbon on the base represents the ribbons won by on the lapels of thousands who demand with unyielding determination a proper accounting of our comrades who are not among us tonight. A slice of lemon on the plate reminds us of their bitter fate. The salt sprinkled on the plate reminds us of the countless fallen tears of families as they wait. The inverted glass, they can't touch with us today because their chair is empty. They are not here. The candle reminds us of the light of hope which lives in our hearts to illuminate the way home, away from their captive, the open arms of a grateful nation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John. And now I would introduce Major Hillsgrove, an old artillery officer who also wants to commend us to a special salute today before he explains the Purple Heart table. Major?
Take one of those. So usually there's a big old broad bowl out here in the middle when I come to these events, and there's usually a little toast that I do. So this is a responsive toast. So please raise your glasses and repeat after me. To us, and those like us, damn you. Now, if you're a big broad bowl, you know what that means. Full. I have the distinctive pleasure and ask you to draw your attention to this small table draped in purple, honoring the decoration recipients of the Purple Heart. If you're a Purple Heart recipient, could you please stand and be recognized? Any Purple Heart recipients here? There we go, right there. Give them a round of applause. This recognition was instituted in 2016. Our last celebration specifically recognized both our wounded warriors and those who gave their lives in defense of freedom and liberty. The original Purple Heart was designated as the badge of military merit established by George Washington. And 1782, it took the form of a simple Purple Heart etched in silver to be worn on the left breast. The Army Award fell out of service until revived 200th anniversary of General Washington's birthday, February 22nd, 1932. It was prescribed for those soldiers having been wounded in the First World War. In 1943, during the Second World War, the criteria was expanded to cover all branches of military service, specifically those wounded in the armed conflicts with the enemy against the United States. And later, a provision was included to posthumously award the decoration to those who fought for our freedom and perished in doing so. Our table is draped in purple, displays the medal suspended from its purple ribbon, etched in white. A gold heart surrounding a purple field bears the profile of George Washington, the first commander-in-chief and the president. The center crest displays the family shield of George Washington surrounded by two laurels. The floral display on the table honors the comrades in arms lost to us, but close in our hearts and memory. They sacrificed their lives for our freedom and eternal hope of peace. Today we are grateful not only to all the veterans, but wish to honor our Purple Heart display, those recipients of the Purple Heart, and those who have passed and survived for our freedom. Thank you very much, folks.
Thank you, Andrew. Another display will be placed on the stage by Bartow's Post 3 of the American Legion. It will honor all those who lost their lives in battle, and honors will be rendered to that display by members of the Legion and us at the close of today's event. The American Legion was formed in St. Louis, Missouri in May of 1919. Bartow's Post 3 was chartered later that very same month. It is named for First Lieutenant Dr. Knowles G. Oglesby. So Knowles G. Oglesby, post number 3. He was the first Bartowan to die in battle in the First World War. Would all members of the American Legion Auxiliary, and the Sons of the American Legion please stand at this time and be recognized. All right, Andy, thank you.
Thank you, Boyd. Today's working represents the efforts of many Bartowans to have an expanded program to recognize Bartow's veterans of the armed forces. It is made possible by the Bartow Chamber of Commerce and the City of Bartow, with the backing of a number of corporate sponsors and individual contributors. The names of all of our sponsors are listed in the program, and we thank each of you, along with Lord Harris and other members of the planning committee, the Chamber of Commerce, and the city government for your support. We are also indebted to those cadets from Plymouth Academy who are members of the Color Guard and the cadets who will serve our lunch. Would all sponsors, planning committee members, and Plymouth Academy cadets please stand and be recognized, and let's give them a big round of applause. Each branch of the armed forces has its own theme song. As the song of your branch is played, please stand and remain standing as your service song is being performed.
There you go, Harvey. There you go, thank you. All right. These are my buddies who are always here to assist with me. The United States Marine Corps. All right. United States Navy. United States Air Force and Army Air Force. The Air Force gets good press, so we've got it. All right. Now, we don't have their song yet, but if you're here and you're a member of the Space Force, we want to say thank you for your service. Let's give all these veterans a hand.
To explore, share video. The secret dream of new civilization. The boldly go where no man is.
I will invite your attention to the service flags along the wall. And the Space Force is a branch of the Armed Forces now, and we do have their correct flags painted. So we recognize all of our branches. And so that concludes our musical interlude. And so, Myrtle, it's your turn to bat.
And finally, a group of people without due support, no member of the armed forces can have a successful military career. With all spouses, parents, children, and other family members of veterans, please stand.
All right, and you may see it. Bugler, sound this call. All right, I can see some old soldiers out there are already salivating. But ladies and gentlemen, that bugle call you just heard is mess call, which means it's time to eat. Okay? Please remain seated as cadets from Solomon Academy will serve our meal. We'll take a 20-minute break as our luncheon is served. Enjoy your meal, and it is on behalf of the many, many sponsors today that this is made available to you, our veterans. So at this time, we will break for lunch. And while we're doing that, I want to also draw your attention to the back left. My back left is Nikki's Photography. She's the wonderful photographer who took our pictures earlier. She is making available to you, free of charge, a picture of yourself, your spouse, your guest, whoever you want. It's like you're at the prom and you want to get that special picture of yourself for memories. She invites all of you during the program, during lunch, after our program for a few minutes. If you'd like to make your way back to her, and you can also choose the background. I believe she's got desert and flags and jungles and all kinds of stuff. So if you're in particular veteran and you want to have some parachutes or something dropping behind you, hey, just let Nikki know and she'll let you do that. Nikki, raise your hand back there in the corner. Everybody look back there. There's our wonderful photographer. And right now, hey, it's time to eat. So have a good time. Thank you, cadets. continue to eat and dine and enjoy the company of your table if you are still eating. But it's time to resume our program today. Now, unlike years past, but from here out, this will be a part of our program. We have a special presentation today. And so I'm going to invite Christopher Alvitre on behalf of First Class Roofing. They're going to make a special presentation to a veteran and that veteran's family. So Chris, come up. You've got the podium, sir.
So a little bit of a backstory. I worked with First Class Roofing this year, and we decided to reward a lucky veteran with a free roof, no charge. If the winning recipient is here, can they please come up to the front? Rudolph Ibarra. Rudolph? And you are? You're, okay, so Missy Barr, okay, you guys want to come up? So I got this is something going forward that we're going to try to do every year, is give a free roof to a lucky veteran. This is our first year doing it, and we plan on doing it again each year going forward. A little something for me. It's an honor to be standing here today. My name is Christopher Alvitre. I'm a safety manager at First Class Roofing, and like many of you here, I'm also a proud veteran. Today is one of those days that reminds me why serving others, especially those who worn the same uniform, means so much. I know what it feels like to carry the weight and duty and honor to answer the call of our country and return home with the same spirit of service in our hearts. You serve this country with courage, with heart, and with a sense of duty that few fully understand. It's a bond we share that goes beyond words. From one veteran to another, I know that you carry heavy burdens, and your dedication to our country is something that will never be forgotten. Today, First Class Roofing is here to lighten the load for you. We will award a brand new roof to Rudolph Ibarra, no strings attached, just pure gratitude to someone who served our country. Here at First Class Roofing, we're on top of what matters most. We're not just putting up shingles or laying down new tiles, we're building peace of mind, safety, and stability for fellow brothers and sisters in arms. You've given so much to our country, and it's our privilege to give back in a small way. This roof over your head isn't just a structure, it's a symbol of community and camaraderie we share and continue to share. We all know that when we serve, we counted on each other to have our six. This is just another way of standing by that promise. It's about creating a sense of security and pride in your home, just as we're proud of our country we serve. On behalf of everyone at First Class Roofing, thank you for your service, and thank you for letting us serve you today. May this new roof provide you with the peace and comfort you so greatly deserve. We're grateful to call you a fellow veteran, and even more honored to call you family. To all the veterans here today and those across the country, let's continue looking out for one another, one small service at a time. Thank you, and God bless.
This is quite an honor and a blessing. Wait, Chris wants to get in the photo. Anita? Nikki, can we get their picture up here? Their photograph. What a blessing. This veteran's family will receive an intern new roof. And we thank you, First Class Roofing and Christopher Alvitre and your group. And thank you for making this to become an annual award of theirs to us. So thank you again. Let's give them a big round of applause. Today is about memories and veterans and remembering. All right. Thank you, First Class Roofing. We appreciate you so much. Today's event recognizes the service of all veterans in war and in peace. After we adjourn today, I would invite you to take a walk to visit Bartow's Memorial Veterans Walk, which is located to my right outside the door and then east, just north of Bartow's Public Library. For many of you, you see the Statue of Liberty. That's what we serve for, the freedom and the liberties that we enjoy as Americans. At that park there, you may not know it, but there is a red brick walkway that forms a V. The V stands for veterans, valor, and victory. Inside that red brick walkway are the stones for 106 Bartowans who gave their lives in wartime for you and I, going all the way from the Civil War up through the Persian Gulf War. You will see names in there, men, women, and each one has a special story. I know my wife alone has an uncle whose name appears on there, a Marine who died on Iwo Jima. And so you might find one of yours there too. But there's also flanked by the flagpole are monuments to all our serving and living veterans by way of saying thank you. So if you get a chance, go out there. The American Legion, and wonderful job, Wally and all the Legionnaires who took a hand in that. I call it flagging the monument. If you go out there, every little veteran's marker has a flag. There are flags everywhere, and we just want to say, we remember in Bartow, Florida. So I invite you to take a walk out there and reflect at your leisure. Now at this point, we have a very special program coming up. It's an instrumental musical program entitled A Tribute to Veterans. And the program is a presentation of Kent Kessler and the brass ensemble called Bones. Now, if you don't know what Bones stands for, I had to ask. It actually stands for trombones. So, Kent, hey, let's bless us with that special tribute. A tribute to veterans, the Bones. I wanted to stand up again. I know you probably did too. But we'd like to thank Pete Kessler and his brass ensemble for a wonderful tribute today. At this time, as each and every year, we have a wonderful voice right here in Bartow. And hey, didn't Cadet Maggie do a good job with the anthem? And now we also would like to invite Pam Renew to come up and sing a blessing over our country. Pam? continue to bless this great nation, America. And now at this time, we're going to pause as members of the American Legion will now come to our stage. And this is the part of our ceremony where we remember those who have fallen, those who have gone before. And so, post 3, we would ask that you come now and set up that commemorative tribute. note too that all the pictures are Bartow. So when you look at them, you see people you know and remember. That is Buzz Oliver. He got his wings at Bartow, Arizona. Thank you, American Legion. Bartow, we remember. God bless them. Colonel?
As we conclude our program, please stand for the benediction followed by a tax. To honor the memory of all
Eternal Father, as we conclude this celebration in honor of our hometown heroes, we give you thanks and praise for this time together. Send us from this place with your blessing, enabling us to be faithful in all our duties and responsibilities, as you have gone in defense of our nation. Now go in peace. To the Army, be semper defendens, always defending. To the Marines, be semper fidelis, always faithful. To the Navy, be semper virtuti, always selfless. To the Air Force, be semper alta potens, always aiming high. To the Coast Guard, be semper paratus, always ready. And to the Space Force, be semper superius, always above.
sponsors, First Class Roofing. Thank you, City of Bartow. Thank you, Chamber of Commerce, and all those behind the scenes. Mary Frisbee for typing our script, for all those of you who got our uniform ready, for each and every one that had a part in making today's celebration one where we remember and honor those members of our armed forces that we lovingly call veterans. Folks, this concludes our program for the day. You may stay and visit, finish drinking. Also, if you need your photo taken yet by Nikki, she's still available in the back. God bless America.